Good morning, everybody. I wanted to talk to you real quick about your minimum. And what I'm talking about is, what is your minimum when it comes to servicing a property? Now, it could be whether you're an arborist or you're a landscaper and, you really focus on mulch and planting and, things like that. Or if you're a hardscaper or lawn service or tree trimming, whatever it is that you do. I'm talking about your minimum. So, in the very beginning, when you start your business, you definitely want to pick up all the business that you can. You're just, you're grabbing this one, you're grabbing that one. This one's 30 minutes away. It's a little cheaper. All right, well, we're going to get that one too, because you're building, and that's so important. But as you get into business and as you get into a routine and you build your equipment and you build your crew, or it's just you by yourself like me, you get very efficient in everything that you're doing. You're in and out real quick. You got the right equipment to do an excellent job, low maintenance, whatever it is, and you know your way around where you're getting on the roads. So when I started business over 2 years ago, I was living in another town, and I was wanting to start. I wanted to move back where I had moved from, and I wanted to build my lawn business here. So I would wake up at 5 o'clock and load up the trailer, and I get to my first property at 7:30 in the morning, and that's 2 hours of drive time. And just to cut one property or two properties, in the very beginning, it was just like that. And and then once I moved back here, in about 3 or 4 months from that time, then I started to service a wide area. I would travel, maybe 10, 15 minutes kind of north, east, or west of me, but really not south. And I didn't want to go that direction. And now, 2 years later, I'm doing 5 miles from the house, and that's my cap. That's it. So your minimum now has changed. Okay, maybe you don't cover a distance so far, and really you want to. We're covering two things in this conversation: your minimum of what you want to charge, and then try to create route density closer to your shop or your home or wherever it is that you load up all your stuff. So moving right along, let's jump forward. Let's say you got all your properties within a few miles or 10 minutes to 15 minutes, whatever it is, of your area, because you may live out in the country, so you may have to travel a little bit, so that's a little different, okay? But once you get a tighter group of where all of your dollar figures are, your dollar signs, okay, once you get that into a tight group, then you have what I like to call your minimum. You're not going to go, let's just say lawn cutting. You're not going to go cut a lawn for anything less than a certain amount. I was talking to a guy the other day. He's been doing the business 5 or 6 years. He says, "Oh, my minimum is like 25." And I'm like, 25? And he's cutting the same size properties I am. We're talking, 5 to 9,000 square feet properties. That's with your house right on there in the driveway and everything. So you're really cutting a little less than that on grass. And I'm like, $25, man, it'll take you, 30, 40 minutes to do that by yourself, depending on the size, how much trimming and edging and mowing and stuff you got to go around, things like that. That all matters. And I said, oh, okay. And I asked him how many properties he has, and he says he's got about 175. I said, okay, wow, well, you take 100. Let's just say these are weekly, okay? And you take 25, and you times that by 175, and then, that's how much you would make that week, okay? Not talking about your expenses and things like that as well. But what if your minimum, he asked me what my minimum is. Well, my minimum is 40. And he's like, man, imagine, he goes, you're missing out on all the properties that are 25, 30, 35. I said, no, I'm not. And now I don't want 175 properties like he has. You know, I just plan on doing all this by myself for however many years, and then we'll just go from there. I can't see the future. So, so now for me to get my equipment out and for me to go do a property, even if it's next door to a property I'm already doing, it's $40. I don't care. Oh, I have a small yard. I don't care. Oh, I just have a front yard that needs to be cut. I don't care. I'm charging you 40. It's the minimum. So look at it this way. You know, for a plumber to come out to your place, or for an electrician or an AC repair guy, all these common repair guys that we use, there is a minimum, and that's called a service charge. So they charge that. Now, most of them don't charge that. All they do is they add that into the fee later, you know, by higher prices on the services or something. But it's in there, trust me. So they have a service fee, whatever that amount is. All right, we're going to come out, we're going to charge $110, take a look at your AC system, and then whatever is wrong with it, I mean, obviously something's wrong because you called us. So whatever is wrong with it, then we have our repair bill to that. And we'll take that 110 or that 100 and we'll apply it to that. And so most people are like, oh, okay, great. So when I go out to do a property and, you know, I walk the property, or if I get a phone call and they say, well, do you service, what areas do you service? I say, well, I cover a lot of areas, but some areas within that area I don't cover. So the best thing to do is send me your mailing address or send me your physical address, and I will look it up on Google Maps and I'll tell you if I service that area now. Because there's some areas I do not want to service. You know, you go right across the street and I'm fine with that area. So, but in that conversation, I say, okay, well, just to let you know, my minimum is $40. It could be higher, but it won't be less. So my minimum is that. It covers mowing, edging, trimming, and blowing off the grass. Anything like tree trimming, you know, lawn bed or flower beds or bush trimming, that's all extra on that kind of stuff. And so they'll say, okay, well, thank you. I'll keep looking. Okay, well, I know right away that, okay, well, I'm not going to do it for less than that because that's what they're expecting. So my trip out there would have been wasted. See what I'm saying? Let them know up front, hey, my minimum is 40. And a lot of people say, or, you know, for my area anyways, oh, hold on a second. Skag mowers. I used to have one. And so people would, they'll say, okay, well, thank you. Or, okay, sounds good. When can you come by to take a look? Those are the ones that you want, because you know, they know going into it that it may be higher because you said that in the beginning. And my minimum on corner lots, I don't care what the size is, my minimum on corner lots is $50. Okay? Because there's some extra edging and some extra mowing, you know. And sometimes the property may have a small, really small backyard, but a big front yard. But if you even it out, it's the same as your $40 property. I don't care. I do it all the same. $50 corner lot properties, and then $40 minimum on my other ones. Now, 50 minimum on my corner lot, I meant to say, sorry. And then 40 minimum on my other ones. And of course, my multiple acres and commercials are all different. But, you know, you want to think about that, because at the end of the day, you know, your time is valuable. And once you've used it, you can't get it back. You know, I was a little nervous at first telling customers, hey, we're about to raise our prices and we're going to our minimum is $40. So for those who are already 40, that was fine. For those who are higher, they stayed the same. For those who are 35, 30, and 25, you know, some of them, well, the ones that were 25, they didn't want no part of that. Ones that are 30 didn't want no part of that. Oh, wait, and I did have a couple that were 30 that went to 40. That was fine. And some that were 35 went to 40. And then some of the other ones just trickled off and went away. And that's fine. So now you could be making, you know, however many properties you cut in that day. You know, if you have if you have 20 properties and a third of those are $25 and you jump up to 40 and you don't lose any of them, but you jump up to 40, that's a lot more money, man. So that is, you're looking at $15 more, a third of, well, you have 20 properties, let's say half of them are 25, okay? So half of them are 25, so you got 15 times 10, however many that is, extra that you're making. You haven't traveled any change in your distance or your route. You haven't changed any equipment. You haven't changed any personnel you're using. You haven't changed the time that you're doing. None of that has changed. You're now getting more money for your time, okay? And as long as you're providing great service and you're communicating with your customers every time you go out there, and they feel a good connection with you, like they can just talk to you, you're just like a neighbor or someone they know at church or work or whatever, they're going to stick with you on the prices. And it takes time to build that, to build that reputation starting from the bottom. And, but so think about that when you're out there and you're mowing. Some companies go up their prices every year. Okay, well, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. There's no right or wrong to any of this stuff. It's just learning as much as you can to figure out what works for you in your area with what you're doing and how you're doing it. So figure out, it's better to write it down on paper, what is your minimum? And don't be afraid to ask that customer. Be like, man, I really don't, if you're going to a property and you're like, dude, I hate this property, man. $25 is not enough for this, or $30 is not enough for this, too much time. Guess what? You've already admitted to it. You need to raise your price. So some people's minimum is 65, whatever, it just depends what your minimum is, what size properties you're dealing with, these types of things. And also on my Ferris mower, both my Ferris mowers, I need exactly 37 inches of OD diameter, outside diameter, to make it through the gate. If it doesn't make it through the gate, I don't cut your property. I don't even do the front yard. I don't care. I don't touch it at all. And the other thing, I'm incorporating is my fertilizing program schedule from Site One Landscape, which is not just fertilizing, but has the herbicide, it has the pesticide and all other kinds of stuff in there. So that's a good program too, because then some of the properties that you lose, you'll gain the money back through raising your prices, and you'll gain the money back through your fertilizing program, which is several applications throughout the year. So anyways, I hope that helps. Just kind of think about, how do you want to make more money? What is a smart way to make more money without doing anything different? So hopefully that'll help you make a few more bucks. And next time we're going to talk about another really cool subject. I'm Kevin with Texas Veteran Lawn Service. Appreciate you watching, and you'll see me next time.